Hello, welcome back to the channel. It is Nat. I am playing with a die set from the latest release. It is the Gingerbread Bakery. I am going to make, it's sort of not quite a Christmassy card, but it's going to have a Christmassy theme. But, you know, I have these coloured cardstock from my stash. I'm actually going to bring in a red one and change my mind. I'm going to die cut the rolling pin like 2 times. And also, I think it's a baser, you know, basting turkeys and things like that. That little die that I just played with then. I'm not too sure what it is. I don't know. But I'm going to go die cut it out a couple of times, as you can see here. Same with the egg flip. There is another layer to the candy cane to make it a little biscuit. We're not going to use that. This ink that I'm using, words are hard, is tumbled glass. And I'm just putting a little bit here and there over my white because I quite often use grey, and I'm not going to use grey today. And I have frayed burlap for these other ones. So this is the little door, my rolling pin. There is another part of the rolling pin somewhere around here. And a little bit of the frayed burlap on the egg flip and that tool. I don't know. I think it's a turkey baster. Leave a comment down below because I don't know what it is. Only because I don't do as much baking in Australia. We don't use the tool that much. Some people do, but we don't use that tool so much. But anywho, I am just adhering my little house together. He's very easy, as you can see there. I just need a little tiny bit of brown left on him. You can see my other rolling pin at the top, and I'm going to trim. I nearly cut the wrong one. Just there is a embossed line, and I've trimmed on that line. You can sort of see it there with the other half, the silver foiled mirror cardstock. And the same thing with this egg flip. I'm going to take off the handle. I'm going to adhere that down on the mirror cardstock as well. And likewise with my rolling pin, because I decided the door needed to be red. So then we needed a little bit more red. Otherwise, the red is going to stand out too much. You need a couple. You need an uneven amount, but you need a couple. Just adhere that all down. And that is the majority of my elements. That is pretty much all my elements, except I'm going to make myself, oh, I forgot this bit. I'm going to make myself a little table. I'm going to pull a die set that was out of the last release, which is called, I think it's the last release, Vintage Lace. And we're going to make a little lace tablecloth. This little strip is just, I couldn't tell you how much it is because honestly, it's just, I looked at it and went, yep, that will do. That will do, that will do. And I nearly quoted a movie then, and I don't know how many people across the world would know it because it's very Australian. So if you know it, drop a message down below. You get points. Anywho, got a little bit of glue. So I didn't cut the whole thickness of the lace because it was going to be too thick for my supposed tablecloth. So it's a lace tablecloth. And we're going to, I put a little bit of brown underneath it so you can see sort of like give the illusion of a wooden table. And I have other pieces of cardstock here that are roughly around about a quarter. They're each basically a quarter thick. But I've just trimmed off a little bit of one so we have a couple of legs. And you can see there I'm going to trim off more. So this is where I'm going to lay everything down to get the idea of what we're going to do. So my thought is having all these elements hanging from a rod. There's probably a word it's called. I do not know that word. But hanging, and then we have the table with a couple of bits and pieces on the table. I just have, as you can see here, a tiny little bit of glue at the top of my spatula or egg flips and all that sort of stuff, and the hat. That is actually a hat that belongs on the gingerbread, and I thought it was really cute to have a little hat hanging on our, I don't know, I don't know what they're called. I'm not going to say, pretend that I do, because, you know, just a rod where people might hang tools, and I have metallic metal one there I can hang my knives, that sort of stuff. I have to apologize. My voice may sound really weird because I've actually been sick, so which is probably why words are sort of leaving me possibly a little bit regular than they used to. It's just one thing after another. Sickness after sickness. Anywho, this is the Be Mine stamp set. Now, this is where our Christmas card's not going to be quite so Christmassy. It is being Christmassy as in gingerbread houses and candy canes, but we don't care. I thought there's an old saying that a key to a man's heart is through his stomach. Don't quote me, don't yell at me. That's just an old saying here in Australia anyway. And so I thought that was tickled my fancy. I have stamped the background a little bit. It's not showing up too well. Hopefully you'll see in a little bit of photos. It's just a very, very light little background image, like very, very, very light. And I'm going to use a little bit of glossy accents, and that is my card. I will leave a link down below to all the products. What's two die sets really. And here's a couple of videos for you to watch if you really were up to having some more fun video to watch. And I will talk to you very, very soon. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.